Welcome to the Whitetail Advantage Podcast with your host, Brett Bovin. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the show.
What is going
Johnny
on
here tonight?
Clear Johnny.
Clear Johnny. Yeah, I know. He's getting new setup and everything. Man, he looks clear as shit, and it just shows how ugly he really is now.
But you can also see the Etsa P-shirt now.
You can, and you can see my Magnuson shirt though too, so you can't throw that away.
Oh, that see. For those of you listening, we're just describing the video quality.
Yeah.
Mine is by far better than Brett's. Kind of like my trail cameras versus what he uses. But
Don't get into this debate with me.
welcome to the show, everyone.
I
said, welcome to the show, everyone. It's
He's running clarity. He has a better clarity of his computer over my webcam that I specifically bought.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I will say this, though. A couple 10-ring news. First off, Hayden's not going to be here tonight. At the last second, a family emergency came up, so we're going to try and reschedule with him. So all prayers go out to him and his family right now. A couple things. So our second annual fantasy football league is up and running. We have 4 open slots. We have some amazing prizes that we're going to be doing this year with the winner. And so if you want to be involved with it this year, let us know. We have 4 slots open. If you want the Whitetail Advantage calendar for our live shows and what we do and don't do, and when we have shows and who our guests are going to be in the future, let us know and we get you on the email link set up for that as well. Another cool thing we're doing is it's the last Tuesday, I believe, of September. So it's Tuesday, September 23rd. We're going to be changing things up. If you want to be the host of the Whitetail Advantage live show, we're going to give it to anybody that wants to be a guest, that wants to be the host of the show. We're going to kind of leave it open up to the audience. Oh, I want to host a show. So the last Tuesday of September, we're going to leave it open. So if anybody wants to do it, if we get a lot of feedback from it, we're going to do like some form of a raffle. If not, we only have a couple do it. We're going to figure out how we go from there. Anyways, with that being said, tonight, Johnny and I have been talking. It's the middle of summer. Hunting season's right around the corner. Actually, I have the countdown on my phone. Let me see here. I'll give you the exact number. Hunting season. There we go. 2 months, 17 days, 10 hours, and 56 minutes left until it starts. And that's for October 1st at 7 a.m. So we are 2 months away from the season starting. So we got really... So we've been thinking, what have we been doing so far? How we've been practicing, getting prepared for this upcoming season, and some tips and tactics that we've been doing thus far and things that we're going to be trying differently this year. And we're just going to go from there. We're going to have fun with it for tonight. Basically, our summer routine that we do and some things that we're going to be practicing this year. Like, for instance, myself, I'll start off by this. This is going to be my first year saddle hunting. I haven't had the chance yet, though, to get out and practice with my XOP gear, though, because I want Johnny to at least be there to help me get it up and everything running. I haven't gotten the saddle yet, so that's why I've been kind of hesitant to get out there and do it yet, because I don't have a saddle. But with that being said, once I do get the saddle, we're going to be out there as much as I can practicing. But let's take practicing with your bow, because that should be like a given. Like you need to be out there fucking practicing with your bow. Let's just take that off. We can get into like tactics and what we do and how we do it with our practice regimen with our bow a little later. But let's talk about, let's start off with trail cameras. Their antlers are forming right now. They're actually, you should be getting some of an idea of a base of what they're doing with their antlers. Correct, Johnny?
Oh yeah, like I've got a couple. Well, I showed you a video earlier from last night. I got some really nice spots on my trail camera, and you can start looking at them, seeing you can start projecting what they're going to be in a couple months.
Yeah.
And they've already got the baseline down. Now they're just growing mass and growing up.
Yeah, like generally for myself, for me, when I put my trail cameras out there, I generally like to wait till the 4th of July weekend, after 4th of July, because at that point, you're going to, like we said, you're going to have some idea of what's out there. That you're going to see like a good base of, oh, that's going to be a monster or anything like that, because they're going to still continue to grow a little bit into September. But that's generally at least when I want to put out there. Now, let's talk about, when do you actually put your cameras out there, Johnny? Because I leave my SD cameras out there year round. I leave the cameras out there year round, but I deactivate the cell cameras like the end of January, because I at least want to see what kind of cycles through and what made it through the season, stuff like that. But like reactivating the cameras and like maybe moving them around, stuff like that, I really start getting into my camera setup around 4th of July weekend, at least after it.
Yeah, so that's kind of typical with what I do. And I keep my cameras out year round. I run the Moultrie mobiles, so cell cams. I keep them up all year, and usually right around February I'll shut them off, because I want the same way. I want to see what made it through season, what's out there, and then you can start judging like, okay, well, when should this shed start falling off? So it's kind of like gives you a little heads up. Then I'll shut them off around Valentine's Day. Then I fire them right back up, middle of April, and I'll start looking at turkeys and stuff like that. Then you'll start seeing the deer come back, and you'll start seeing little nubs, and then you can start, almost like that early spring pattern going on with them. Figure it out, really see what's out there, and just get some more eyes in the woods. I have a couple cameras that I keep out there at all times in the same spot. I don't really mess with the location. But then I have 3 or 4 other ones that I'll move around on the property. And I hunt all state land. So what I like to do is February timeframe, once you start seeing the game trail, there's still snow on the ground and you see the game trails, try to change up the cameras and move them around a bit, walk down the trail and say, I'd never hunted this area because of whatever reason. Throw a camera up there and see what's out there, see what made it.
Yeah, it's generally around like the very first week of January, or at least let me say this, the first good snowfall after the season's ended, and I've gotten a good good base level of tracks that are going to be used, trails are going to be used, and heavy down compared to what trails and whatnot. So then I'll go out there and maybe move them around. I think people take trail cameras a little too lightly in some ways, at least when it's not just going out there and throwing a camera up there. You have to position in a correct way to give yourself the best opportunity to get photos.
Now see,
stories of people. Huh?
I've done that. When I first started out, I had no idea what I was doing. I had the cameras. I throw them out where I thought would be a good spot, and I didn't see anything, man. And then going back out there and reading the signs and saying, maybe I should eat, I have cameras on one tree, even angling at 45 degrees, then you'll start seeing deer. And that was on one of my main cameras, the biggest deer I've seen on my trail cameras. It was just facing the wrong direction. I angled it about 45 degrees and I started seeing deer. They were there the whole time, but my camera was just all dicked up and in the wrong spot.
Yeah. And I've noticed, though, you don't ever face a camera. I mean, sometimes you might just have to, just because you might have to, but I never face a camera south. It's always the camera itself, it's always, the back part of it is facing west, northwest, north, northeast, and east in some capacity. I don't ever face a camera to the south.
Now, is that just like your, I don't want to say like your lucky charm or something like that, or your superstition, or is that just something that you've learned? That
just something I've learned. in my opinion, you tend to get a lot more photos of like sunlight, just like random million different photos, at least with my experience. I've
Yeah.
gotten like just a plethora of photos of just like the sun hitting, stuff like that. Granted, you're still going to get it throughout. It's just cameras itself and daylight and stuff like that is going to happen. But I generally do my best to face cameras to the west to an extent, to the north, like I said, like that. And I don't know, that's just kind of like how I've been doing things the last 4 to 5 years roughly now.
Okay.
And yeah, I think there's one camera though I had to, because I needed the way the terrain and everything was set up. I had to do it. But if I take every scenario out, I'm like, all right, how can I make this camera face this direction and avoid facing it south, basically?
Yeah. So I've got, right off the top of my head, I have 2 cameras facing south. And just thinking back, I've got a couple deer on it, but not a whole lot. Those are probably my 2 cameras that provide the least amount of photos. So I might want to go out there and change them around now.
Yeah, I just cameras face to the south. I just, no luck. You're just gonna get basically nothing. And
Now, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Now, what's your thoughts on multiple cameras on one tree?
You know, I've been thinking about that the last couple years, where like I'll put one like granted, you have those cameras out there now that are 360.
Yeah.
I wanted to take, like, I have I think I got 4 cell cameras now, and just put them all on one tree and face them all. just circle the whole fucking tree. I've thought about doing that. I really have. But am I against it? No. Because of the way I set up my cameras, the way I do it. But I think it'd be cool to do, though, for one time, to try it out.
Yeah, I've been playing around with the idea if I want to do that or not. And I think pretty soon I'm going to at least put 2 on one tree. Just see what's coming, what's leaving. You know, you get the pattern of the deer. Oh, they're coming in this way. Man, who knows if there's another deer walking adjacent to that one. So
right.
I mean, the more eyes I can have out there without actually disturbing the place all the time, going back and forth. And that's what I love about cell cams. Like, I know some places you can't hunt with cell cams. I absolutely love mine, and I'm going to use them continuously. But getting that live feed or that live notification, oh, there's deer out there right now, it's just so much nicer than having to walk out there, check an SD card. Who knows what you're going to bump and jump when you're out there.
Right.
Like,
I have, though, I think what they say, like, every camera you should have, like every yard or every acre you should have a camera. And so, like, you need to space them out. I have, though, in the past had one camera facing one way, and then maybe like 20, 25 yards to the north of it, maybe facing it, like they're all facing to the west.
yeah.
I have done that.
Okay.
Yeah, just to kind of like see, like, all right, okay, let me break this down, though. For me, on the camera, I'm not just facing it in any direction. I'm facing, like, if I face it in one direction, it's because there's probably a reason to it, because I've seen trails coming in anyway. And what I always do, right? I generally, and so then when I put when I'm wanting to put the camera up in a tree, I put my back to the tree and I'm facing the direction I'm thinking that is going to face it. And I'm seeing, like, all right, the deer come this way. Where's a good an intersection point right there? I'll face it to that. And then what's going to give me my good angle of view here? And then once I'm going through the camera photos themselves, now I'm not just looking, all right, scrolling through the photo. All right, there's no deer, there's an absolute deer, and stuff like that. I'm actually using that information to help myself out, because even if I get a picture of one deer itself, of its ass, then I try to see, like, how many photos of a deer, of an ass that I'm getting.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Because then it's going to at least tell me, all right, maybe it's going to tell me a couple different things. I mean, they're 1, too close, or 2, they're coming from one direction and they're always going out, let's just say to the east, for example. all right, now I have some idea. Like, all right, they're always going to the east. I'm getting to these photos, or vice versa to the west. Looking at the photos themselves of the deer can tell you a lot on that photo. Not just, I don't think you should just look at the photo and like, oh, look at that deer. Dissect that photo as much as you can.
And we've all done it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the pot calling the kettle black. I've dissected so many photos and just based entire hunts off of one photo, and it was just so off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you're saying, you have to get that whole picture. You can't just stare at a little image of that one chunk of property. And I've made it where I spin my cameras all the way around, and yeah, I absolutely love that. Now, so you hunt, you're fortunate enough to hunt private land. Now, I posted a couple pictures last season, pictures and videos. I hunt all public, and I had a camera probably 10, 15 feet up in the air, right?
Yeah.
Hunting public here in Michigan, I've had so many tree stands stolen. I actually just had one go missing a couple weeks ago. I went out there to check in on it. I know I should have pulled it, but I didn't, just because I wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah.
It ended up getting stolen. But what I would do is I would put up one trail camera facing the trail walking in, just so I could see the people walking in and out. It's all public. If there's a lot of dog walkers and shit like that out there, I want to know, so that way I can move my spots and adjust them accordingly. Now, what's your thoughts on that? Because I had a couple, being where I'm at, there's a lot of drug use and tweeters and stuff like that.
Oh, I know.
Oh my God, man. I got some pretty interesting stuff on camera. That's for sure.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. I know your area very well.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is just to get that. Okay, who's out here in the woods with me, or who may be in the woods with me? And I posted a couple of videos on Facebook saying, hey, do you know this person? Dude, the backlash I got for doing that was insane. Well, it's public land. Everyone has the right to be out there. And I get it. It's true. But the people saying that hunt public, or they all hunt private and have never had a stand stolen from them. I mean, that shit's, it gets expensive when you've had 6 or 7 stands stolen. That's for sure.
So your question is, what was my thoughts on, like, just someone in your position generally putting out cameras to see who could possibly be stealing their
Yeah,
shit?
absolutely.
I love it. Like, for anyone that's against it, I think is fucking stupid. I mean, it's no different than you trying to put a Ring camera on your fucking phone, your house.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. Apparently, there's a lot of people who disagree with that, but fuck them, right?
fuck off. I think that's just, it's one thing to maybe to see their side. Maybe they're getting pissed because you're blasting them on the internet. Maybe, but you got this person on camera, and I've seen countless photos where there's people like, hey, I got this person on camera, and the next day my shit's gone. Has anybody seen or know or can ID this person and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
So like, it happens. I mean, you're just trying to get your stuff. So I'm agree with it. I would do it myself.
Oh, for sure. So now, going back to like the trail cameras in the woods, do you elevate yours, or yours at eye level of deer?
Last year with the camera that you gave me was the first time I put a camera elevated and angled down.
Okay.
I didn't have any negative or positive feedback from it. It was a different viewpoint.
Yeah.
But generally what I've done in the past for 15 plus years now that I've been doing cameras, it's just generally chest high, just right here, like for myself, and that's what I've generally been doing. And now I know the thing now though is, at least in my opinion, the most recent of years, people will put them elevated up and angled down for camera, like for animals, if that's the question, not towards for people.
Oh yeah. If I'm going to look for people, I don't put them up real high. But no, so I started doing that last year, is elevating them probably like 12 to no more than 15 feet up in the air and just angling it down. And your field of view is so much wider. And man, I was getting, typically at chest level, you'd have a deer come by, 15-second trigger if you're running a video.
Yeah.
So you might get, like you were saying earlier, you might get their ass walking by. Man, you put it up higher, the angle or field of view is a lot higher. And once that 15-second trigger hits, that deer's just right out there, just walking right in front of you for full video length. And then you might get a couple of them. And it's so much nicer because now you can start really checking out the deer, really patterning them, and just seeing where they're going. And you can see so much more.
Maybe I should start doing that, at least on a couple of them this year, maybe. I think, though, as hunters, though, we need to be trying new things and getting out of your comfort zone, because my comfort zone is just boom, chest high. All right, here we go, right there. Go run it.
Yeah,
and just maybe that's all practice of that's what I've been doing. But as I got more into doing it, I like that up close and personal type deal with it all. But you do get tired of seeing just like photos of like an ass. I'm like, damn it, like what the fuck was that? Or like you get a photo of a deer where its antlers are like right there, and you're like, I can kind of tell he's a giant, but you don't know because it's so close to the camera lens. So it could be a fucking spike for all you know.
I had a video last year. I'll have to see if I can send it to you later. But it's this deer, just like I had put some minerals out, and it was just the back of a deer, and you saw its neck going down. It was going after the minerals. I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
There was a 15-second delay on my cameras and then a 15-second video. So right, like the last 4 seconds of this video, this deer pops up and it's just massive spread. I was like, oh, holy shit. And then the camera cuts off and then he's gone. And I'm like, that was the fucking coolest thing ever. Because you just see this deer like, oh man, it's probably just another doe or a small buck. And then it's like, boom, right there.
Yeah.
And that was one of those instances where if I would have had the camera mounted up higher and angled down, I would have been able to see him a lot more. But that was just one of the coolest videos I've ever seen.
Now, there was two videos of that were like, that stuck out to me the most. One was the very first video of Fishhook, the deer I got a couple years ago. The very first video of him that I saw was, and it happened to be the very first video, the photos I was looking through for that year, and he's right there. And he's like 5 yards right in front of my camera. He's facing one way, and then he turns towards my camera. And as I'm playing the video, I'm just like, holy fuck, gosh. And like, I shit my pants when I saw him.
Oh, yeah.
A year later, I think the next year, I have my SD camera out in my rut area, and it's like right next to my stand that I was hunting. Yeah, I'm gonna be moving it though. And this deer, I called him Geronimo. At least my wife nicknamed him Geronimo. And he's facing one direction. All I saw at the beginning was his right side. I'm thinking, all right, that's a good one. He's turning more and more towards the camera, and more he turns, my mouth just goes. I'm just like fucking losing my mind. And he was just a massive, like he was a 9-pointer, so not a lot of points on him, but a typical 9-pointer, very wide, very massive, and just like tine length on him too. And he just looked like a fucking tank. And as I'm looking at this one, I'm just like in just awe of him. And there's photos I think of, I got him like last year, the year before, and I was after him for so long, and I just nicknamed myself the ghost deer because I just never seemed to see him ever again. And it's just weird to see a photo of a deer that's like 5 yards from your stand on September 10th or whatever, and then the hunting season comes and you can't even see another photo of him on a camera.
So I have one picture, and I had to pull it up. I have it here. It's from almost a year. Oh, just over a year ago last year. This was 7/11/24. And for everyone listening, I'm sorry, but that's like the coolest picture I've ever seen. This deer coming in, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that's out there right now. That's still, he made it, and I'm getting camera or pictures of him. But what I did is I started, once I got that picture, that's chest level, I moved it up higher, and I started getting this one deer coming in who was always offset from him. And the first time, I'm going to show you the picture of the first time I saw him. This dude has like one elk horn or one elk antler and one whitetail antler. And that's it right there.
What the fuck?
So everyone listen.
Cool.
Yeah, everyone listening, you'd have to watch the video on YouTube later. But
so let me try to explain. So if you're listening to this on the audio version, if you're looking at the back of the deer's head, his left antler, it's his main beam right there. That's like a weird S shaped and his brow tine. And then his other right side is just a massive, your typical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, typical 5 point on the other side. That looks amazing.
And that's, I have a full body video of him, only one. And dude, last year he was a tank, like in the summer, like just a giant fat old deer. And yeah, dude, that dude would be on the wall all day.
So I have actually my buddy texting me. Yes, Michael, I see your fucking texts. I see your comments about the Ring camera on your phone. I meant Ring camera on your house. Obviously, you missed me saying that. Anyways, so my buddy, he has his cameras out right now. Mine aren't activated as of yet. So a couple years ago, we were getting photos of this deer that I nicknamed Biggie Smalls. Why I named him Biggie Smalls was because he was a big 8-pointer, small 10-pointer. And the reason I say it is because of this. This is him this year. Let me try and get the photo up there as best I can.
Oh, very nice.
So as you can tell right now, basically just looking at it, he's like, you can see maybe like an 8-pointer.
Yep.
But the more you get into it, last year he didn't have that split brow tine on the right side.
Yeah.
So just take that away from last year. And the reason that we nicknamed him Biggie Smalls was because you see those like G3s, G4s, I mean, they're very small, maybe like 1 inch to 2 inches. We didn't catch that at first. Sorry.
Those are nice.
And so that's why we gave him the nickname of Biggie Smalls, like really big 8-pointer, small 10-pointer type deal. I'm like, all right, but he's very wide, and he's got this big giant, like gullet now, like a big fat belly. He's got like this weird, typical like lump on his chest. He just looks beautiful. I'm hoping to get him this year. We haven't had a lot of other camera photos of any other spectacular deer on the property this year, but I don't know. I saw him on that photo. I was like, man, Biggie Smalls made it through. Holy shit.
Dude, so you and I live in the same area of Michigan, right? Southwest corner.
Yeah.
And last year, it was such a hit or miss on EHD.
Right.
And
What's up, Frank?
I was so hesitant on putting my cameras out there and activating them again because I was like, we got hit so hard with EHD. So many deer were dead.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I fired them up, I started getting decent deer. I'm like, all right, it's nice seeing these deer. And that's, that I'm glad I turned them on and started getting pictures because I was about ready to give up on this whole area. Because
I don't blame you.
It was hit so hard in my county.
Yeah,
but
yours was hit really, really bad.
Yeah. So I have smaller bucks on my cameras. I have, 2-year-old bucks that are pretty decent size, for my area, for public land. They're decent. I mean, November 15th to December 1st, so many deer are shot in my area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's brown, it's down. That's the motto. But to be able to turn them on, to see good decent public land bucks coming back from EHD, thinking that before they were all wiped out. Like, man, I was so happy to see him. I'm going to hunt it hard this year, where last year I was hearing all these reports of EHD and people finding so many deer dead. I mean, like, there'd be reports of people finding 100 deer dead in a weekend. And so I just gave up on that area. Looking back at it, I probably should have hunted it, but I'm glad I didn't, because now they're coming back and they're looking pretty decent this year.
Yeah, it's weird how, like, even myself, I was like, what's the point? Like, when I was hearing EHD coming and then it really hit, I was like, well, this season's going to suck balls. Like, I didn't even thought about myself. Like, I'm not going to put a camera out there, but I was like, well, you know what? Let's put cameras out there and let's see what kind of is coming through, maybe just for that point of it. But I had like zero hope going into last year. I was fortunate enough to get a deer. I'm proud of the deer, but nothing of the caliber that I saw photos of on camera. And we've talked about on the show before, last year, which was a very weird season in general for hunters. It just seemed like it was a very hard season to hunt because of EHD, but it just seemed like everything was like, every hunter was, in my mind, we're thinking, all right, it's going to be A, B, C, and D. Next thing you know, while it's A, B, C, and D, it's X, Y, Z. And we're like, well, what the fuck's happening? And we're all confused and this and that. And it was just a tough year last year. And I think this year now, everyone's got their skeptics of how EHD started and stuff like that. I've heard the conspiracy theories of, the insurance planted that shit, or the conservation department started that shit.
I mean, if insurance companies started that shit, dude, that's some next level conspiracy stuff. That's some tinfoil hat wearing shit right there, because that's some like unbelievable shit. And that being said, if that's the case, I want to work for those insurance agencies, and I want to dip behind this shit. I want to. Listen, we really need to do this in this area so I can get these deer. Like,
right.
But
I heard that theory, and I was like, I asked that person, I'm like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, I really think the insurance company was behind it because they got tired of paying out all these claims with deer accidents in Michigan. And I'm like, in some way you can, like, okay, for like 5% of that theory, I was like, I could believe it in some sense.
But then you start looking at the logistics and how they would go about doing it, and you're like, no. And that, I'm huge on conspiracy theories. I love all of that shit.
Same here.
But then you hear that and you're like, dude, can you really picture Jake from State Farm sprinkling shit on fucking bait piles? Because I sure as shit can't.
And with his fucking khakis, just, all right, sprinkle some HD here, some EHD here.
That's why my fucking trail cameras get turned every once in a while. It's fucking Jake out there fucking with me. God damn it.
Motherfucker.
Now, every season I have that's bad, I'm blaming Jake from State Farm. That's all there is to it. You heard it first here.
Bad season, I don't get anything. Jake from State Farm, it's your fucking fault, man.
That's right.
Let's be real, though. EHD, because, at least here in Michigan, and that's because we're talking about it, because we had so many, I wouldn't say so many, but the most recent of years in the winter, it wasn't as harsh as it's been. It hasn't been as cold as it been. So it's been very warm. So a lot of that stuff that is supposed to kill off, that in EHD that's supposed to be killed off in the wintertime, didn't. So that's why it came back this year, very extreme. Well, last year, very extreme and very rapid, because a lot of stuff wasn't killed off in the wintertime. And so that's the real reason.
Yeah, it's been, and I did behind global warming, right? But another conspiracy, tinfoil hat wearing shit. But it has been here in Michigan. The summers go on longer. The falls are a lot warmer.
Yeah.
And we're going to have EHD. But you look at Florida, right? Their season's going to start here really soon. I think August timeframe, if not before. They have hot, humid weather all the time. They don't have reports of it like we do up here. So maybe it's just something that a natural course of action that the animals just have to adapt and overcome.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
Maybe in like 5 years, EHD won't be, well, I don't want to say 5 years, maybe in like 5 generations, EHD here in Michigan, it's not going to be that bad. And that was always a huge thing. Maybe it's a environmental thing. Maybe the deer down there, they're not susceptible to it because they live through that warm season all the time.
Yeah.
Up here, we're supposed to have October 1st, it's supposed to be cool. November 15th, the start of gun season, there's supposed to be a foot of snow. Dude, we haven't had our first foot of snow until end of December lately. Maybe it's just something that needs to happen.
Well, shit, last year was, what was it? Like the beginning of November, and we're finally happy it was hitting 60 degrees.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it was like our first week of a cold snap in a sense. And the high was 60, 65. And we're like, holy shit, this is really fucking happening. Finally.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Fuck, it was a Christmas day and it was warm and a little muddy outside, but people were on my local golf course doing a round of golf, just walking. It was that warm out.
Yep. And the ground never froze until the first of the year.
Yeah. So many things.
So many things.
Let's talk about got a little time left before we wrap up for tonight. Let's do anything else though that you're gonna be trying differently, because you be on public land, and like for instance myself, I'll go first. On private land, I bought Whitetail Institute no plow. Yeah, I made a video of it, but I'm having problems with that. Anyways, long story short, I didn't do any like soil testing or any lime or any of that type of shit. I just wanted to see what would happen with this food plot if I just raked up this little section of the woods and where I hunt in the rut, raked it all up and smoothed it out, then spread the seed, and then just kind of like top raked it and just kind of let it sink into the ground and just do that. I wanted to see what would happen. I did that on Saturday, May 31st. Went out on yesterday with the kids. I had a whole game plan I was going to do, but because of mosquitoes were just killing me and my kids, we were only out there for like an hour and like, screw us, we're getting out of here. Anyways, the food plot actually stuck. Surprisingly, It actually grew a little bit. It grew a lot better than what I thought it was going to do. And there was not a whole lot of sunlight into that area that I did it on. And we only got maybe 2 to 3 inches of rain from yesterday, from the time that I planted it. So it got very little rain. So I'm like, it did a lot better than the outcome came out a lot better than what I anticipated. I can say that. And that's one thing I'm trying to do this year. And then this weekend coming up, no matter what, I got to cut up some trees out there, cut a little more shooting lanes out in the woods, and I'm putting up one of my t-shirts in my stand.
Oh yeah, yep.
Now to do that in my rut location there that I love to hunt the rut, people would be like, "Well, you're fucking stupid." I want to see what happens in that area, because I can hunt on this cornfield area and get away with any type of wind, stuff like that. Fine, okay, but I want to see what happens out there. That's what I'm curious about.
So hunting that spot with the rut, if you're gonna hang a t-shirt, I have zero issue with that. I've actually thought about it in my public land spots, but the bucks that you're after, they're going to be so focused on chasing those does. So it's really the does that you have to outsmart.
Yeah, that's what I've been planning on.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, like, I've got so many does I've got does all day on my trail cameras, which is awesome during that rut season, right? But I've got a lot of old does out there too, which I'm hoping early season to take out a couple of them.
Yeah.
Because we have the Liberty Hunt or the Youth Hunt coming up this year, and that's first time in Michigan. That's the does only.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm hoping to get a couple does that weekend. I'm only here that weekend, then I'm turning around that Sunday. I'm actually leaving for another hunt. But yeah, I'm hoping.
Surprise there.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to mention it, but it's not the elk hunt. It's not the elk hunt. It's the bear hunt. But
right.
yeah. But no, like so many people here in Michigan focus on the rut because it peaks the start of gun season.
Yeah.
And at that point, everyone goes in the woods, tries to shoot those monster bucks or fucking any deer, really. But now, what's your thoughts on Michigan with their buck restrictions?
Like the APR type thing?
Yeah, so we have the 4 on one side restricted.
Oh yeah.
Then we have the any buck.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on so we have Frank on here, Broadside Ambush Frank, New Jersey. I'm a huge fan of the New Jersey earn a buck. Like I really wish
Earn a buck?
Yeah, I really wish Michigan would go about following that law or that rule.
Oh, it's like you had to shoot a doe in order to shoot the buck.
Yep, you have to shoot a doe to get a buck. You get a buck, your first buck is free. Every other buck after that, shoot a doe. Because we have so many fucking deer here in Michigan. So many people pass them up.
Well, we have a lot of does, if that's what you're saying. Like we have a lot of deer in general.
Yep.
But our doe to buck ratio through like the entire state is like 5-1. It's like unbelievably outnumbered. And I think another reason is that because like for two reasons. One, because obviously for us in the state of Michigan, our hunting numbers have just been rapidly declining since, I don't know, 2015 or whatever. Been a steady decline. I mean, you take that 1 year of 2020 of COVID year, that was the 1 year it spiked, but that's an outlier because of COVID. So you take that year out of it, it's been steadily declining. So I think that's obviously one of the main reasons. But I think the second main reason though is because you have, like, for instance, us. Granted, I'm not going to shoot a doe or like I'm not going to not shoot a doe or shoot a lesser deer because for social media purposes, like you have you're not dating unless it's Facebook official type thing. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
So you got those type of people out there, at least in my mind, that are going to hold off on those deer to try to shoot a monster buck or a buck to solidify themselves as a hunter on the internet. Yeah. Now, me, I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm going to be happy and proud and like, look what the fuck I shot. I don't give a shit.
I want meat for the freezer. That's
exactly. Now, I've tried shooting does, but they've kicked my ass every year I've hunted. I have yet to put my tag on a doe. I've been trying my best, but to get back to your point of earn a buck, I like it and I don't like it because, like, for instance, myself, I've tried shooting does and I can't get my fucking.
I tell you what,
I can't put my tag on a doe, dude. Like, I've tried.
Yeah, if you can shoot a decent, not even a good, just a decent 2-3-year-old doe here in Michigan, state land, public land, private land, whatever, like that speaks statues of your hunting ability.
Yeah.
Does are so hard to hunt here. And
I call them Einsteins of the woods.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I was watching a video earlier and it was talking about a good 5-year-old doe. And you see her in the woods and her head's always bobbing. Her ears are going every which way. She's listening constantly. She's always watching out. But what's worse than that is she's teaching those traits to her younger deer.
Yeah.
Which in return, like, they're making smarter deer. So you're like, you know what? No, we got to take these Stephen Hawkins of the deers out and fucking start getting those everyday people deer in the woods. You know,
right.
Make hunting great again. Get them fucking does out.
I can't fucking stand them, dude. Like, I've shot, I think, 2 does. Never found them. Granted, I accidentally shot them both in no man's land, but
man.
And I have it's a family law on the reasons why and why not, when we can shoot a doe and when we can't shoot a doe. And but a lot of times I can get the chance to shoot a doe. It's just like the opportunity that allows me to, in our family law, to do it. I just can't fucking capitalize on it. Like last year, I shot my buck, and it was 12:30, 1:30 in the afternoon, and it was cold, but like it was raining and really cold with the rain. And it was November 14th, and I wanted to wait it out because it was my last day to get like, all right, well, if another buck comes, a doe walking through, whatever the case may be, a broadside ambush coming. Yeah, season starts September 13th here in New Jersey. Gotta shoot a doe first. That's just damn. That's why most people bait to get their doe out of the way.
Oh, absolutely.
But back to my story of, I was talking to my dad on the phone. I was like, I don't want to go in yet because it's my last day. It's my last time to hunt because all the gun hunters are on the property. They're going to be out here tomorrow. And so I'm like, I got 5 hours left. Fuck it. I'm going to just hold it out. And as I hang up the phone with him, and I'm still debating, like, do I just get down there and get him and say, fuck it, I'm done with it, done for this year and stuff like that. As I'm doing it, I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm gonna wait another hour. As I'm getting my arrow, a doe walks right in front of me, and I'm not even like trying to keep slow or trying to move or stuff like that. And I don't know why, but I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna grab my arrow and throw it in there and just screw it. I don't give a shit. Making all kinds of motions. Just walks right in front of me, just da 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 da, 10, 15 yards in front of me, and I'm just sitting there like, and I'm not even fucking ready. Like I have the arrow in my fucking hand, and I can't get it to like fucking put it. As I'm getting it ready to like draw back on her, she's just fucking gone. And I'm just like, motherfucker, shooting a doe. It's my fucking curse. And I will do anything to shoot a fucking doe.
The first doe you shoot, you didn't have to do the shoulder mount just to put it up on the wall. No, don't get me wrong. I would do that.
My 19th year hunting, and I have yet to put my tag on a doe. I'm 31 years old.
So you've seen Escanaba in the moonlight, right?
And when I was a kid, I don't remember it now though.
Oh yeah. So Jeff Daniels played a character, huge buck hunting movie.
Oh yeah. With Jeff Daniels, yeah. I've seen it. I just can't remember.
Yeah, he was known as the buttless Youper.
Yeah.
Dude, you're the doeless troll. For those who don't get that reference, Michigan has an upper and lower peninsula. Us lower peninsula people are known as trolls because we live underneath the bridge.
Yep.
So, Brett, as of today, you are now the doeless troll.
That name better not fucking stick, I swear to God.
Dude, it better go underneath Brett Bovin, host of Whitetail Advantage.
Doeless troll?
The doeless troll.
Oh my God. I'm not even gonna fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. I don't give a shit.
Hey, you have to, man. Earn it. You know,
I'm just gonna accept it. I'm gonna accept it.
It's so well. Do you might not remember it because you're about 12 years younger than me, but do you remember in Michigan when you had to apply for a doe permit? It was a draw, kind of like bear and turkey.
Yeah, that was back in the heyday, though.
That was back. I remember I was probably 14 or 15. I got drawn for a doe tag, and dude, that was awesome. And me and a couple buddies were talking about that the other day, about how the deer population is just blown up in so many, in 20 years. We've got so many does, so many deer in general. Doe tags, I think last year we could get 17 doe tags.
Oh, yeah, like after the season ended. Yeah, I think it was like $5 a tag.
I don't know.
But yeah, last year at least, I think it was 5, maybe it was 20. But I'm pretty sure it was like you can buy a tag for like $5 for.
Yeah, I know the extended archery urban season from like January 1st to February 1st. That was like unlimited doe tags, $5 a tag or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But it was only in certain counties.
Yeah.
But I mean, so we see that, right? We went from watching people apply for a doe tag and get denied to now you can buy unlimited doe tags.
Mm-hmm.
Now you fast forward to today where you have to, which is weird. In Michigan, you have to apply for a turkey tag. Dude, you can't drive down the road without seeing a dozen turkeys at any given time.
Oh shit!
Like we have so many turkeys, and you still have to apply for a tag. And
they only hand out like one like tag like every 5 people or something like that. It's like very weird.
I've had it where I will not get so 3 years ago, I did not get drawn for turkey, but I got drawn for bear. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is ridiculous. I couldn't bear hunt that season, so I had to, I called the DNR and got my points back.
Yeah.
But it still took me another 3 years to get drawn for another bear tag. But every year after that, I was getting drawn for turkey. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like,
and people are listening to this and like, and you guys are from Michigan? Yes. The way our conservation things do things here is fucking stupid.
It doesn't make sense.
No. I think we can make like a whole episode of just the idiocracy that happens over there in Lansing.
Oh my God.
That it could start at 8:00 and it could go on to like a whole fucking week just straight.
It could be a mini series for sure.
No shit. Actually, I think we should do that.
We definitely should, dude. I mean, to hear like, so where I'm employed, I'm the only hunter, right? Then hearing people talk about like, well, why you have to put in for a turkey tag? There's 50 turkeys in this field every morning. Or why do you hunt? Like that's ridiculous. And they're like the supporters of like, we should just let the deer be deer and just let them do their thing. We don't even need a hunting season.
Right.
So like we could get into a huge rabbit hole of stupid Michigan shit, especially with PSE Mobile Hunter over here.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be an epic show of just us three getting on here and just talking about the stupid shit that happens there and the laws that they pass and the things like for years we've been trying to say like we want this to happen, we want this to change, and we think with this. They don't listen to us at all. I mean, shit, Ted Nugent was up here recently, and that turned out to be a whole fucking shit show. And he's up there. He's yelling more this time than he did a couple years ago.
Oh my God, he was furious, and he made such a valid point. So, what's crazy is the past like probably 5 years where you couldn't bait here in Michigan. All of a sudden this year, they proposed a baiting license. Like if you want to bait 5 years, from the last 5 years, oh no, you can't bait because of EHD and chronic wasting disease.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, you pay a $25 license fee. You can bait, and that will not prevent EHD. And you're like, wait, hold on here. The state just wants their cut. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Any way the state can manipulate laws and regulations to make money, they're going to. And what does that do? It fucks the everyday hunter. That's all it does.
That's just government itself too. But we're only talking about the conservation side of it. But yes, any way that they can find manipulate the law in order to deepen money into their own pocket, they're going to find the fucking ways to do it. Now, explain to me, like, Ted Nugent says it perfectly. What's the difference between me hunting over a natural grown apple tree?
Yep.
Compared to me bringing apples out there myself.
The same apples, moving them 15 feet this way and hunting that spot. What's the difference?
Because we want to reduce of them licking and spreading in saliva and stuff like that. Motherfucker, they're constantly licking each other's assholes and sharing spit. Okay, they're do it naturally on every goddamn given day.
Have you ever seen a licking branch?
No.
I mean, for fuck's sakes, yeah.
I mean, they have the scrapes in the ground. They pee on them and they fucking lick it up,
dude.
So like the people in these places, they think that because they have a degree that they're smarter than us. Okay, yeah, it shows that I have a fucking degree. It doesn't make me smarter than you or the next person around me for hunting wise.
Yeah, I've got a degree as well.
It just, like, listen to I don't know.
Common sense is not so common.
No, not anymore. Not lately.
Nope.
I mean, we just had a whole month dedicated to fucking people that want to
blow other dudes.
To blow other dudes, and don't even get me on that topic. I'm just gonna go off. Anyway.
You know what? Hey, don't worry about it. That's why Dave and Squatch aren't here right now. They're wrapping up their Pride Month together. That's, we support that if that's what they want to do. It's not for us, but hey,
we're happy for you. I'm happy that you're happy and healthy in your own skin.
We're happy that they're happy, but once they get back on the show, strictly deer hunting. That's it.
And
I don't care what those two do together.
We're still gonna joke about you like sucking dick.
Oh man, absolutely.
Nothing is off limits here on the show.
That's right.
Nothing's off limits. We just open it all up. That's what this show is about. We're gonna speak our minds, speak the truth, and you don't like it, fuck it. I don't give a shit. You have to have thick skin these nowadays. You really do. And if you don't, and then I have to cater what I say and don't say to make you feel happy about yourself, or to make sure you don't feel microaggressions where it's in trigger words. Grow the fuck up, man up, woman up, grow fucking vagina balls and grow and let your man balls drop.
Don't get the hand out of your badge and fucking nut up. That's fucking it.
Let's say this. I am curious though to hear about Frank though, because he lives out there in New Jersey, on his opinions on it.
Dude,
on earn a buck.
Frank is who we need to have host the show one day. Because Frank hosts his own podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, he'd be an awesome guest host one day. So Frank, reach out, man. Let's make this happen.
Yeah. I'm really curious though to like those people that New Jersey. I knew New Jersey's one of them, but I think isn't Wisconsin wanting to become one?
Wisconsin wants to. So Wisconsin isn't yet, but what Wisconsin does do is they offer a first time. And this is awesome. Like, this is what I absolutely love. And this is why I'm hunting in Wisconsin this year, is the first year of a non-resident tag is half off. So you're actually, as a non-resident, you're able to hunt Wisconsin for probably cheaper than a resident, which is unheard of in any other state. I mean, you hear these reports of non-resident tag prices going up 400% or 500%. Like, Idaho is ridiculous to try to hunt.
I think it's a way though for them to get more people in to hunt that state, and for revenue wise, obviously, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. And not only that, but Wisconsin, they have some amazing deer.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, they're right there. I mean, they're right across the lake from us. They have great deer. Northern Illinois genetics of deer are pretty fucking good as well.
Oh yeah.
But then you also look at it, Wisconsin stretches all the way up and touches RUP, which is great for bear and deer. I mean, you potentially could get drawn for bear up there as a non-resident and pay less than what a resident would here in Michigan for bear.
Really?
Which is unbelievable.
I don't know why this just popped in my mind, but you remember a couple years ago they wanted to change it from Lake Michigan to Lake Wisconsin? I
do.
Those fuck shit bags over there in Wisconsin. Love you guys, but you're not changing our we're known as the Great Lake State, motherfuckers. Not
only that, but I mean, the Wisconsin Badgers, Michigan Wolverines. Come on, man.
Right.
They're just trying to copy us here. I love Wisconsin, absolutely do. But come on, man. Michigan Wolverines, Wisconsin Badgers. The Badgers are like the trailer park version of a Wolverine.
And if you actually look at the natural shape of Wisconsin, it kind of looks like a fucking R-tard version of Michigan.
Yeah, dude.
Like in the upper right corner of it, it's got that weird little outline, and then up in the left, it goes like out until up and left.
Michigan, the whole left hand mitten, the mitten state. Wisconsin is like that, like crippled, like yeah. Now, That being said, we have a lot of listeners that I know from Wisconsin. And I absolutely love them, and I cannot wait to come out there and hunt with you guys. But Michigan Wolverines were better. Just saying it.
We'll say this though. Oregon Ducks, the number one.
No, I do like. I like Oregon. I've been out there, and talking with a lot of the guys out there, Oregon would be that state that I moved to, other than Michigan.
Now I love the scenery out there. Just looking at the photos, I've never been out there. But Tennessee is the number one state I'd move to.
See, I would Oregon on top. So Oregon has whitetail, but
only in southern parts of the state, though.
Only in certain parts. Only in the urban parts is their whitetail.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they have blacktail, which if you've never hunted blacktail or seen a blacktail, they're fucking crazy. They're like whitetail. They're your everyday deer. But what they do is you can't watch a blacktail hunting video because they're so boring to hunt.
Right.
Like they don't do anything. They see someone, they drop. Like that's what they do. They just lay down. But Oregon has Roosevelt elk, which are larger, usually by like a couple 100 pounds than Colorado elk, right?
Yeah.
So they're a heavier elk out there. The rack's not nearly as large. But what I absolutely love about it is that you're not hunting at altitude. You're hunting at 2,500 feet above sea level, which is nothing. You're not hiking the Rockies at fucking 14,000 or 11,000 feet, struggling to breathe. No, I'm going to go out there and hike a mountain and fucking shoot an elk at 2,000 feet above sea level.
Good point.
And so trying to convince my buddies, I'm like, dude, not to mention Oregon is one of the last states that you can go out there and buy over-the-counter tags. That being said, please nobody go out to Oregon to hunt because I'm enjoying it. But, I mean, that and you have deep sea fishing right off the coast.
Yeah. Yeah. See, next year, because this year we're hunting Indiana.
Yep.
Next year I want to hunt like Illinois, Wisconsin, Ohio. But if I can convince the wife, I would take a trip to Texas for axis deer.
Yep.
Oregon out there for some elk, or to go down to Tennessee to hunt. Maybe Missouri.
Missouri wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. Next year I want to take like a good state.
Now, if you take a 2-week vacation, you can hunt archery in Kansas 1 week. So where I used to hunt Kansas and Missouri whitetail when I was in stationed in Fort Riley. Kansas and Missouri flip-flop 1 week on, 1 week off for archery season. So I would hunt archery 1 week in Missouri or in Kansas. The next week would be in Missouri. And it's right across the river. Awesome time.
I like that idea, actually.
Yeah, it works out great, especially for the states. You know, I mean, that'd be like if we had Indiana tags and archery started October 1st here. Well, let's offset it a week in Indiana.
Right. Got some options there.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Well, Johnny, going an hour in, I think it's time we're wrapping it up for tonight.
Are we going to do the rapid fire?
Nah, I don't give a fuck.
Right. Fuck it. Fuck what I think, right? No, man, this has been a fun show, dude. I mean, we went from not having a guest, or from having a guest to having them have a family emergency to making what I think has been a pretty decent episode.
Yeah, I mean, we're good at scrambling. That's what with your past experience, my past experience, and work and line of work, I think that's what put us up for success of being able to think quickly on your feet and boom, boom, boom.
We adapt, we overcome, and what's more mind-boggling is we have people who want to hear it.
We have awesome people that want to listen to what we have.
I know, dude. People want to actually listen to what I have to say, which is still crazy to think about.
And we get the amazing guests that come on the show. And
Dude.
don't get me wrong, Hayden's gonna be a great guest.
Oh, for
He had
sure.
some amazing things that we were going to talk about. Just unfortunately, like we said, he had some family emergencies that come up like legit last second. So our prayers go out to them to make sure everything's going okay, and we're gonna hopefully get them set up. I will say this though, so on our Tuesday show, we're basically getting rid of the state topic type shows where we get a guest that lives in hunting stats, stuff like that. We're kind of figuring out what we want to do with that exactly anymore. Not necessarily get rid of it or how we want to set it up, but this Tuesday show coming up, nothing hunting related. I mean, we might dabble into hunting, but we're just going to talk about the most random off-kiltered shit. Like,
I can't wait.
It's just going to be like whatever we want to talk about. It's just going to be a fun, like, comedy type layback show. Like, hey Johnny, do you think 100 men could take on a silverback gorilla? And just that type of shit. It's going to be like a fun, like, argument type show. That's what a Tuesday show is going to be about. And that's why I think everyone out there listening to the show, and at least everyone that I talk to that listens to the show, like, we just do most off-kiltered random shit, and we do a lot of things differently.
We're not a show for everyone, but for the people who like us, dude, we're your show. That's all it is.
Yeah.
We're the show for the everyday bow hunter. For everyday fucking hunter. That's it.
I think it's every everyday redneck motherfucker, because I'm one of those motherfuckers too.
I know I did that episode of White Trash Advantage, but yeah, we're the, if anything, you wanted to laugh, tune in, check us out. That's it.
Yeah. We're gonna try and figure out how we're gonna do the White Trash Advantage show.
We'll figure it out, man.
We'll figure that out. Because we actually heard a lot of good comeback or feedback. That's what I was looking for. Feedback.
Yeah.
On that one show that you did do.
I was impressed. I had fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was awesome.
So Johnny and I are gonna talk it out more on how we exactly want to set that up, stuff like that. But with that being said, that's going to include an episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. Let me just say the spiel. We cut it out at the beginning.
Preach it, brother.
Let me say it to the end. If this show made you laugh, made you think, gave you a new perspective, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're listening to this on the audio version, please give us that 5-star rating. In any way that you can, give us your feedback on the show. We always try to improve the show in any way that we can. If you are listening to this on the audio versions, our podcast gets released every Monday and Wednesday at 5 a.m. Eastern time. However, stand by for those 10-ring announcements because sometimes the show might not be coming out. If you want to be a guest on the show or want anybody from the Whitetail Advantage to be a guest on your podcast, head to our website, whitetailadvantage.com, and submit your request through there, or you can reach out to us on social media. Thank you to all the companies that have partnered up with us here at Whitetail Advantage. And I also want to say, put your core in the slot machine, help share the show, help grow the show. I have to say it, Johnny.
Gotta say it, man. Dude.
Put the quarter in the fucking slot machine. And guess what? Johnny, any last words before I say goodnight?
Dude, if you can't afford a quarter, or if you cannot afford a quarter, we do take Apple Pay.
Yeah, we do take Apple Pay. Good night, everyone. We'll see you Tuesday.
Adios.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.